Hello guys, it is your girl Mirandy and I'm back with another video and I got another message for y'all. And Heavenly Father wants you guys to know your gift is going to make room for you. And this actually relates to the last message that he gave me. Again, I love when they all connect and they just have a connection. So if you haven't checked that message out about why you being different and why God made you different, check that out. But he wants you to know that your gift is going to make room for you. And he had me studying Joseph. And so Joseph, we all know, was gifted. And he had the ability to see in the spirit. He was gifted with being able to dream dreams and interpret dreams, and that's how he was given legal access by Heavenly Father to be able to see in the spirit, because he had dreams. And he also had the gift of interpretation. So he not only was he able to see, but he was also able to interpret. And what happened with him, he ended up telling his brothers, his family, based on, his naiveness and not knowing any better. He was just super excited and super happy, and he didn't really know much about his spiritual gifts either. He was still learning. And what happened, his gifts made room for him, and every single problem that was happening in his life because of his gifts ended up being what blessed him in the long run. So don't ever think that your gift is a problem, because he was gifted. And oh my goodness, I don't know why, but I'm kind of like, I just feel like a strong emotion. Like, I don't want to cry, but for some reason, I do, I don't know why, like I just felt like a strong emotion that someone here under the sound of my voice is like, you're gifted. And just like Joseph, your gifts have always seemed like it was a problem, and your gifts made you, different from other people, just like Joseph. And so because Joseph was gifted with being able to dream dreams, being able to interpret dreams, what ended up happening, his brothers ended up throwing him in a pit. And then he ended up going to the pit, to prison. And then what happened? That same gift that was a problem because of his brothers being upset and mad about his gift, that they put him in a pit, tried to kill him. But guess what? A person who has problems but is gifted will always be able to get out of their problem. And so Heavenly Father wants you to know that. Don't ever look at your gift as a burden. Don't ever look at you being gifted and different as a burden. And Heavenly Father just showed me someone is so gifted, and because you're so gifted, because you're so different, because of these things, you've looked at your gift as a burden, and your gift is not a burden. I know people may not understand it. I know people may not accept it, especially the people in your environment, the people that you were raised around. That's why God says that a prophet is not welcome in his own hometown, because the people that you grew up around, the people that you came up around, your family, your friends, they're not going to be accepting of that gift, because they're looking at you like you came from the same place as me. And why do you have this gift? Who are you? What makes you better to where you're gifted in these different areas and I'm not gifted in these areas? I'm not a prince. Why am I bowing down to you? Basically, that's how Joseph's brothers were looking at him. Like, who does this guy think he is? Like, why does he get gifted? Why is he getting a coat? Why is he getting all these things? Why is all of these things happening to him and not me? And I came up from the same environment. I grew up in the same place as him. And he just gets to have this golden spoon. And so guess what? What ended up happening is their enviness and pride and anger didn't even allow his brothers to see that their inheritance and their blessing was attached to their brother becoming a prince. And so when they threw him in the pit and he was at rock bottom, he was in a pit. Guess what? There was no going down lower than the pit. Where can you go lower than the pit? The pit is the lowest that you can go. And then he went to prison. But his gift made room for him. Because of his gift, while he was in prison, he used that to help other people in prison, to interpret other people's dreams. And guess what? Although he may have not got out of prison right away in that day, someone remembered him because he was different, because he wasn't like everybody else, because his gifts made room for him, because his gift allowed him to be able to interpret someone else's dreams in the prison, two other men's dreams in the prison, and they didn't forget about him. Just like no one's gonna forget about you. Guess what? Joseph's brothers didn't forget about him. They didn't forget. In fact, over the course of time, they didn't even get away with what they did. They didn't. They didn't. Although they may have not been going through the things that Joseph was going through, falsely accused, false accusations, people trying to kill him, including his own family, being put in prison. Guess what? In the end, that didn't stop him from becoming prince. Only death can stop you. And God has the final say so on when you die. God has the final say so. God is the Alpha and the Omega. He's the beginning and the end. So what God promised you for your life, it's going to happen before you leave, because God is not a God that shall lie. And so guess what? All these circumstances happened with Joseph where he could have died, but he couldn't die yet because prophecy had to be fulfilled. What was told to Joseph had to be fulfilled before he could die. So death couldn't even stop it until God has the final say so. Until his word comes to pass, it shall come to pass. And that that relates to the last message that he gave me. And oh my goodness, I have so many other messages for you guys, and it's all connecting and making sense. And so just know your gift is going to make room for you. I don't care how much of a problem it may seem like or feel like or look like because of your, environment or people not accepting your gifts. God will bring the right people to you or put you in the right environment, so that way your gift will make room for you. Joseph had to go to a prison, but guess what? In that environment, his gift made room for him, and he was able to be of service to other people. And so I pray this message blesses you. I love you guys. I'll be back with another video, Elohim willing. Bye guys.